was he would very often stoke or give a wink and a nod to conspiracies.
Oh, big time.
He went out there about Obama's birth certificate. He obviously called out the whole Russiagate thing, which was a legit conspiracy to unseat the sitting president.
Was the Q thing?
The Q thing.
That, yeah.
He'd float out the election being stolen, but all the witch hunt, and of course now with Epstein, when it's not really it is a conspiracy, but it's a legitimate one. But he's saying, there's a Democratic hoax. He is very quick to, any time it will help him look good, to be like, it's a conspiracy against me. Never once with Butler. Never once. And it's kind of crazy, man. Like, we have like no information. They haven't even like attempted to give us a national story that puts a little bow on top of like who this guy was or what happened, how there was such a security failure that could allow a sniper 130 yards away to get a clean shot at a former president and current candidate's head. Just kind of no internet history, can't get into his phones. He wanted to kill anyone he could. That's all. Nothing to see here. And it's just a little bizarre to me that you would think, like all other things making sense, you would just think you would hear Donald Trump going, they tried to kill me. They tried to do this. They tried to do, but I mean, days afterward, he just thanked the Secret Service for what a great job they did. And I don't know what any of that means.
Well, I know a lot about it. And I'll just say this, which we said publicly, is I got a call from somebody who said, I've got a lot of material from the gunman. I'm not disputing he was the gunman, by the way. Seems like the gunman. The question is, like, was he working in concert with anyone else? Were there other people involved?
Right.
It's the same with Charlie Kirk. It's not a question of, I don't know anything. But the question is never just did the guy pull the trigger.
Of course, yeah.
Prove or disprove that with the videotape that we don't have from the Charlie Kirk assassination for some reason. But whatever. The point is that's only one part of the story. The question was, were there other people involved? And in the case of Butler, I got this corpus of information from a guy almost off the street. We showed that it was real. I'm always skeptical of this stuff, very skeptical. But it turns out this was actually from Thomas Crooks's YouTube account. And the FBI had claimed that this didn't exist. Well, of course, they knew it existed. So then the question becomes, well, why are they, since the man is dead in this sole shooter crime, there's a lone gunman and the lone gunman's gone, why would we hold back anything, any evidence we have? But they did. And that would include video surveillance of the shooting range where he trained to shoot. It's a pretty good shot, over 100 yards with a .223. I shoot a .223. That's like, all these SEALs are like, oh, that's nothing. But like for a non-SEAL,
right.
It's a decent shot. So there's videotape from the shooting range. Did he train alone? Who was with him? Never been released. And the investigation was shut down. So what does that mean? I don't know. But I mean, like, what is going on?
Yeah. And I got to say,
why can't we know?
Well, hearing the heroic former director of counterterrorism come on your show and kind of say the same thing does just have a lot more weight to it when the guy was literally the director of counterterrorism and going like, hey, what's going on here? We have not gotten answers over these things.
He tied those facts. Those are facts. He stated facts. And by the way, now we've just heard the FBI is not actually investigating him. That was all fake. He retained his security clearance until the morning he left. So if he was under investigation for treason or something, he wouldn't have held his clearance and have access to highest level intelligence, which he retained until the moment he resigned. So, okay, that was all a lie. But he said point blank, one of the most informed people in the United States, with clearances higher, I think, even than Mark Levin's, there's a connection between Trump's decision to go to war in Iran and these not fully explained acts of violence. He said that. So, okay, before we denounce him as crazy, which maybe he is, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be, but I hold open any possibility. What is he talking about? And there has not only been zero interest from like the people in charge of ginning up interest, like the internet, the influencers.
Right.
There's been calculated discouragement and attacks on anyone who persists in asking the question.
Yeah, well,
and I haven't gotten involved because I know everybody and it's so emotional to me. But at a certain point, I'm gonna, whatever. I feel like I've got a pretty close vantage on all this stuff, and I'm getting a little sick of it. because every American has a right to justice, not just for himself, but for any other American citizen. Our whole system rests on the idea that there will be justice affected by the U.S. government. And we have a right to know. You have no right to keep that from me. On what grounds are you keeping that from me? You can't browbeat me into it by screaming Candace Owens again and again and again.
Yeah, that's right. And look, like,
sick
to
of
me,
this.
I've tried.
It's outrageous.
No, absolutely. And listen, I'll say just personally, like I knew Charlie and not super well. We weren't like close friends, but like I'd done a show a few times and we texted a few times. He had me at that last had me do the debate there, and we hung out for a little bit while we were there. And it's I wasn't as close with him as you were, but it's even just like being friends with someone like that. It's first off, it's very jarring to see that happen, and then he's got a wife and little kids. Really tragic, horrible situation. And I'm like, my incentives on all of this is like, I just don't want to believe that this was anything more than like one crazy guy with a trans furry boyfriend or whatever. Like that actually is much more comforting to me than it's some conspiracy. Half of Twitter seemed to think I was the one who got him killed or something like that, or me and you and Megan or something.
I very much vehemently want to believe that.
Yes, right. So like we don't want that. I will say so, and I have not done like deep dives and watched all of Candace's shows on this or something. But like there's little pieces of information just like it's been confirmed by a few different people that he was texting them, they're gonna kill me. Like, hey man, that's gotta be like totally exhausted and investigated. I mean, what is this here? This is a pretty big deal. You really gotta get to the bottom of stuff like that.
Carlson said, I don't know. Well, it might be very simple to just say there is a cover up. And it might be true. Nothing has ever left everyone so skeptical like the incident in Butler, Pennsylvania. That one alone shook people to the core. A former president and a presidential hopeful was targeted. And you ask yourself, how was that possible? Didn't the Secret Service do their job? Wasn't it their job to make sure that there is no clear sight to the president, who simply forgot to put a policeman on all the roofs? These are the questions they should ask people. And the most funniest thing is, no one, not the Secret Service nor the local police, have been held accountable for this major security failure. None. I asked myself this question the more I look into this issue, and also Charlie's own issue. Can't people be held accountable if they carelessly handle their job? Can someone be held accountable if their actions or their inactions led to the death of a human being? If your responsibility was to put someone, a security person, on the roof, and for some reason you did not do that, shouldn't you be held accountable for that? Shouldn't you? But no one seems to be interested in the issue. Not the victim himself, nor the different security agencies. None. Butler, Pennsylvania incident has just gone quiet. And Trump himself is not really interested in knowing what happened. According to him, he was lucky to get out of there with his life And so he is grateful and he just want to move on. But ask yourself, right, this question. If you were the one who was almost assassinated, would you just move on without trying to figure out what the root causes were? If you're the one who managed to get away with your head intact, wouldn't you want to know what really happened? Or better still, why you were targeted? And especially when you have all the power in the world, when you have all the intelligence in the world, when you control the most powerful country in the world, when you control the most advanced security agency in the world, wouldn't finding out what really happened a piece of cake? Would it be difficult? I mean, as a human, you'll be curious to know, right? Like, I was targeted. Who wants me dead? Or who are the ones that want me dead? Why do they want me dead? How come there was this massive security breach? How come no one was put on the roof for security? How come no one saw the shooter before he took the shot? Who was the shooter in the first place? Does he has any history of violence? Where did he get the weapon from? Did he buy it or did someone give it to him? I mean, these are normal human curiosity questions that you would want answer to. I would. But for some reason, Trump has moved on. It just makes everything so strange. And I have seen speculations online, though I don't believe them, that this whole thing might have been a stage. That he might have realized that he wasn't going to get the nomination for the Republican Party and have decided to do one drastic move to turn things around. And let's be honest, after the attempted assassination, things quickly turned around in his favor. That is true. So the speculation is that he did that because he wanted to gain favor from the public, from the electorate, from everyone. Which I say that is difficult to believe because to pull something like that off, the number of people who has to be involved in the planning. And by the way, why would you accept something like that? Because what if something went wrong and you were shot and killed? There is an element of danger roaming around your head. So why would you go along with something like that? Because I wouldn't. I wouldn't go along with something like that. It's very dangerous. And that was why I am so skeptical about this whole narrative. I think the shooting was real. I think he had no idea it was coming. I think the people wanted to send a message, not to kill him, but just send a message. And that was why they just scratched his ear. And I think he got the message loud and clear. And that was why he is not interested in any form of investigation. These are just my own personal speculations. I think he knows who were involved in it. He knows the reason why. And so he has decided that let's just bury everything and let's just move on. I think he does know. Now, sometimes it is bizarre to think about it, but it's true. We sometimes believe that the president is the most powerful person in our country, but more too often, they are not. They are just like the puppet. There are other people who work in the shadow, and they are the ones controlling every single thing. So Trump might not necessarily be in charge, he might just be a puppet. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying.